no different. We welcome you into the XFINITY Center for Big Ten women's basketball on the season, but Iowa undefeated in conference play. What gives, Ace?
Michigan State, where they played really well, but they are coming in.
8 teams in this conference are ranked. 2 of them are on this floor. We are up and underway. The one and only scheduled matchup of the season between the Hawkeyes and the Terps. Oluchi Okananwa trying to keep the possession alive. She tees it up. That's off the back iron. And hey, when you're going against the Terps, you've got to rebound. Second in the conference when it comes to rebounds. One of the top teams in the country in rebound margin.
And that's exactly their bread and butter, and that's the balance. When you talk about their offense, missing players, not really having a true point guard in with experience, they struggle offensively in the half court, so they maximize their possessions, getting on the glass, as you saw there. Iowa's going to have to do a better job on the box out.
Well, and this is what the Terps do defensively, right? And head coach Jan Jensen from the Hawkeyes said, we're going to have to make sure we stay poised with this pressure. It was kind of like a three-quarter court press. McCabe, a lot of space for her. Gets it going early.
I love me some McCabe and her game. She's so exciting to watch offensively. She creates space for herself. You saw it on the step back. Needs no time whatsoever to put the shot up. Got to know your personnel there.
Well, you talk about scouting report. Over 90% of her field goal attempts are from the outside. That's what she does. Turnover there by the Terps, and the possession goes back to the road team, the Hawkeyes. Iowa is led by Jan Jensen in her second season as head coach, but she spent 26 years as an Iowa Hawkeye, over 800 wins with the Hawks.
I got a chance to talk to Coach Bluter when we were in studios past Sunday a lot, and she's had nothing but great things to say about Jan Jensen. Every time we talk to her, it's always a great time. Just a great spirited coach.
Heiden down low, nice entry pass. That's the leading scorer for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Ava Heiden.
And she's emerged into that role, just been so impressive to watch this season. Coach Bluter said it. These posts don't put the ball on the ground. The best post move, no move. Makes it so simple.
Heiden gets the quick board, and there's a whistle as well. On the sidelines for the Maryland Terrapins, Brenda Freeze. If you're familiar with this program, then you're familiar with Coach B. 24 years at the head of this program. Of course, highlighted for that 2006 national championship, multiple Final Fours. I grew up in this area, and she's just a staple when it comes to women's basketball.
And I'm just going to go into this, not being biased as a former Terp, but just the experience of having her as a coach is just something unmatched. You really don't realize it till you get out of the program. And some of the best years of my life were in college, and that's Coach B, just her giving us that opportunity to come out and play, get the education, even the experiences that we've had off the court.
And the Terps are officially on the board. Mamadou. And this press break, it's something that the Hawkeyes practiced here at shoot-around today, just a couple hours ago.
Good to be on the lookout. Maryland likes to switch up their defenses, make miss. They'll go into the press, they'll go back into zone, they'll go back into man. The way they switch things up on the ball screen action, they keep offensive teams on their toes. So to your point, different things that they work at, different looks in the shoot-around.
That was a traveling call on Feuerbach. The point guard for the Terps, Addie Mack, a freshman who was inserted into the starting lineup around November due to injuries, and she's really excelled. One of 4 players on the Terps that average double figures. It'll stay right here with Maryland. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
We talked about how the 3 players in Poffin, Barter, Lucci, in their zone having to step up in games where they haven't. Addie Mack has been that go-to player.
Walker down low amongst the trees, no go. And the Hawks, I was just going to mention
that. We're here with Zora.
We're on the same page sometimes. I'm in your territory today, though. Heiden trying to show her range. No go on that one.
And she can knock down the shot before the Terps. That's the look that you want to see her get, is that elbow extended.
Mamadou left all alone. She's got all the points for the Terps so far.
Defense to transition, that's where the Terps are at their best. Able to get that easy offense before the defense is 100% set up.
Well, it's all about knowing your strengths, right? I mean, we talked about both these coaches on the sidelines. These teams have an identity. Hannah Stuelke, a big part of the Hawks' identity. She gets going.
I mean, okay, I'm just going to be biased here, but I'm loving the post play that I'm seeing so far. It is unreal. You got Heiden, Stuelke, Mamadou working out. It's a big girl game tonight.
Let's see when the guards want to get inserted into the game a little bit. Speaking for the shooters, Walker drills it right on time.
And I saw you hit that one when we were in the pregame.
I was just warming up the floor for everybody.
You got the nets ready.
Here we go, 1-point basketball game. You see the denial down low. Just no look to Heiden or Stuelke. Skip pass to Feuerbach. She'll tee it up. Great effort there. Other way we go.
That's where you talk about the Maryland defense. That's where they're so good when they're in that man-to-man, that heavy pressure on the perimeter. If they have to collapse in and help in the paint, they will. One thing that Coach B really talked about working on was fanning out to those shooters. And while we're on the subject of shooters, how about Walker off the bench just knocking one down? I mean, and this is something that Coach B wants to see is that depth. Who can she rely on the bench when she's already shorthanded?
You talk to people around the program, and for Kendall Walker, it's all about being aggressive when you get your opportunities. Gear zone, she's a shooter, but taking it to the deck with the fade. Tough shot.
And that's the move. That's where you're going to see her. Whenever she's working out in the post, she likes to go to the fade. And we talked about it early, Zora, when she was at Indiana. That was something that Coach Terry Morin had challenged her with, where she never really got 100% of a grasp on it, is being physical on the inside. And we were seeing that on display since joining the Terp squad.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Yarden Garzone, she's a transfer from Indiana, all Big Ten honoree, and now putting on a show for the Terps.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. The spin to the fader. Okay, MJ.
We see you. Maryland has its first lead of the evening. It'll stay that way. Heiden met at the rim. Here comes Maryland. You know, they like to push and transition. Walker all the way. She's hit on the way up.
And that's Maria Boyko for Maryland that was inserted in that lineup to guard Heiden. I love that matchup with the size. Have another look at it here. The foul drawn, and this is what I said, Zora, early that I wanted to see from the Terps, is for them to be aggressive on their attack downhill and get to the free throw line. I talked about defending, rebounding, and running. Free throws are the other part of their game, or part of their identity that has held them strong on the offensive end. In their last two matchups, USC and UCLA, they didn't get to the free throw line much until the second half, and that's made a difference.
You go back to that USC game 2 games ago, and some may argue they won the basketball game because they were able to knock down free throws.
Yeah, it was like 20 free throws that they hit in that second half. More free throws than shots from the field.
So after those free throws, Maryland extends its lead to 3. Top 25 matchup here in College Park. Last time these two teams met was about a year ago. Chit Chat on the board.
What was that Jen Jensen was saying? She wanted to see Chit Chat score the ball more? Well, she said hello.
Well, and insert herself into the basketball game, not just as a passer, but as a scorer. Poffenbarger off balance. And this is what Maryland does. On the glass. Battling down there.
Love that. Great aggression on the glass by Hannah Stuelke.
Deal. Back to right. Poised Iowa team looking for a good look. That's Addie Deal, the freshman out of California.
Great pull-up jumper there from Addie Deal. The freshman emerging as into an elite role player on this Iowa squad as well.
Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Addie Deal. And what you notice when you watch the Hawkeyes is they're patient on offense. Stuelke, left alone, has to make a decision. Feuerbach off the screen, tries to turn the corner. Heiden knocks it down that time.
And that's the reward for patience. You get a really good shot out of it. And to your point, and that's what Coach Jen Jensen liked about her team, is their ability to move the ball around, see different options. It might not always be the first or the second, the most obvious option. It's the third. That's what we got in that last possession.
Already a couple lead changes here in the first quarter. Walker, she's been aggressive early. Mack, tough angle. Couple big boards by Deal, and what you love about her, she can get a rebound and push it. Stuelke, open on the layup, doesn't finish. Heiden. Hannah Stuelke just relentless, getting extra possessions for her team.
And I'll tell you one thing, Iowa's done an exceptional job on the glass, and that's what happens when you reward yourself with a second chance opportunity.
Iowa, well, Maryland is so good when it comes to rebounding margin. They're 6th in the country, not the conference, but the country. Right now, the Hawkeyes are in the middle of a 9-zip run. They've got the edge by 6.
And Iowa, towards the end of that first quarter, has been doing or going into the media timeout, have been doing an exceptional job getting on the glass.
Here comes Deal, holds the follow through. Azimamadou set it up. Here's Okananwa. She's speedy. Look for Maryland just to reset. Nice refusal, the kick out, Garzone. Talks about yarding Garzone and her ability to knock it down from the outside. Leads the Big Ten in threes made. No good on that one. Maryland in the middle of a drought. And
you credit, that's a great contest by Kylie Feuerbach. Someone who you will see on one of the better perimeter defenders. You see her on Jordan Garzone in that possession.
Okananwa wastes no time. Here comes Feuerbach to right. One of the things you'll notice about an Iowa offense, if they don't have numbers, they're going to set up the set. High-low. Stuelke keeping it for herself. Deal. Little stop and pop. Must be some lids on the rim these last few possessions.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want to see Iowa more aggressive in attacking, getting into those gaps, try to catch a body, get contact, get to the free throw line.
And what an impressive play by Feuerbach. Jan Jensen says she's our best defender. And you see it just in the smart play to muck it up a little bit.
Well, she allows Iowa to play all of their best assets, talk about their physicality, their ability to shoot, their ability to get in the paint, but she adds that defense to it, that balance. So there's no drop off there.
Right, getting everybody organized. Off the Stuelke screen, sees a little bit of space, nice entry pass down to Hayes. Met at the rim by Ozzy Mamadou. Hofenbarger, reversal to forward, gets it to Walker. Count that one.
Let me tell you something, Walker has come in and played some major minutes.
6 points for Kendall Walker, 2 for 3 from the field. We mentioned how Coach wants her to come in the game and be aggressive, and she's done just that. Remember, Iowa comes into this one undefeated in conference play, coming off a win against Michigan State. They beat Nebraska. Their 2 losses on the season are out of the conference against UConn, #1 team in the country, and Iowa State. Shot clock winding down. Stuelke has to recognize, gets it off in time. And now Maryland secures the possession, 4.3 on the clock towards the end of the first here.
And that was a great wall up by Saylor Poffenbarger. You talk about a glue player and someone who just does what's needed of the team. She's a guard, but you will see her playing at the 4, but you'll see her pretty much playing any position.
Walker was feeling it.
So that dunk just meant a lot to me because I literally put blood, sweat, and tears into the weight room. And you know, right after that dunk, my teammates, they all like did a dog pile on me. It kind of looked like what the Eagles look like after a tush-push play. It was literally a dog pile like that. But it wasn't just the dunk itself. They knew what I put into, like all the work that I put into, and just the way that it's made me build confidence. I mean, just such a heartfelt moment. I get emotional every time I watch it.
You've gotten so much love here. Coach Freeze recognizing you today at shoot-around. It was the perfect flashback on this Throwback Thursday.
I mean, if you look around, our alumni base is huge. You see players from that 2006 national championship team. They are coming back all the time, and it speaks volumes to Brenda Freeze, the family culture that she's built here. I mean, I'm just more than blessed than ever to have been able to be a part of a culture and being a Terp, always a Terp. Just excited to be back here. I mean, I have jitters. I can't even get my emotions together right now.
You can tell what it means to you. And what I love most is Asia loves the Terps, but she's going to be unbiased on these calls today as we get you through this basketball game. 4-point game as we just get the second quarter started. Ozzy Mamadou is at the free throw line. She gets both of them to go. And Maryland getting back in this three-quarter court pressure that we've seen throughout the course of the game. McCabe wasting no time. That's good.
And again, Iowa practicing the shoot-around. Different looks. You see the quarter court press, just throw it over to the three-point shooter. I mean, Maryland's definitely got to do a better job of fanning out, getting to the shooters.
Feuerbach getting in to the teeth of the defense once again. Possession arrow will stay with the Terps. Great to see Taylor McCabe knock down a couple. Last 5 games, 27% from the three-point line, but this is what she does. What I love is Jan Jensen said, hey, either get out of shooting slump by shooting the basketball or watching Netflix.
She did say that. She said, I need to watch some more Netflix. A shoot or shoot, that's the mentality that you have to have. And this is the flow, the rhythm that can get her going.
Scare zone on the other end, but here comes McCabe. Little heat check there. Okananwa, numbers or not, wastes no time getting up the floor, sets up Poffenbarger. Just a big haul down by Heiden there.
Eva Heiden, big girl board, snatched it.
She did. You can sense the tempo of this game just picking up a little bit. Feuerbach looking for some help. Push on the catch.
Starting their zone here on the post-up shot fake. That's what you do against a shot blocker. Just continuing to be impressive to see this element of her game outside of the three-point shot, because that's the first thing that teams want to take away. Jan Jensen even talked about it in the shoot-around. They're going to put a smaller player on her because they want to force her to be able to get tight looks inside.
Just to clean up that last play, the foul was on Kendall Walker, her first. Taylor Stremlow now in the basketball game will inbound it for the Hawkeyes. And Iowa has gone to this high-low action a lot, whether it's Stuelke or Heiden at the elbow, just initiating the offense from that position. Right, off the screen to McCabe, sidestep. The referee, Natasha Campbell, says it's a travel.
It looks like Heiden took a little contact after setting that screen as well, but she got up and is okay.
Three-point game. The edge remains with the Hawks. Walker setting everything up for the Terps. Poffenbarger looked at their zone, nothing there. They'll continue to look for something. Ozzy Mamadou has been confident, and Heiden just tenacious on the board so far.
What I like in that possession too defensively for Iowa, they like to run their zone off a lot of weak side action. Stremlow was on her, fighting over those screens.
Defense to offense for Iowa. Taylor Stremlow gets 2 to go.
Just another one that was impressive when you talk about, the younger classmen with such moxie as Jan Jensen described, that sophomore class specifically. Just coming in, a glue player, she can score from all 3 levels, and she is a heckler on the defensive end.
Look, the basketball almost touched the floor. That's how many Iowa Hawkeyes were boxing out. They really got the message from their head coach when it came to rebounding. Houston takes it to McCabe, nothing yet. Stremlow, little side step.
I'm not mad at that missed basket, but beautiful offense.
Well, and when you take a good shot, now Maryland is in a position where it's not transition basketball, which is where they thrive. They're going to have to look to get some stops.
So Stremlow before this had the great defensive possession that I talked about, and then on the offensive end, just a little casual one dribble pull up. Ain't mad at it.
Call that a workout shot.
Call it a workout shot.
That's when you're in the gym, right?
That's
one
literally
dribble
that drill.
pull-ups, one dribble
cone
pull-ups,
at the top.
muscle memory.
The little sweep, the low sweep.
Amen. Just under 7 to go here in the second quarter. In the thick of conference play in the Big Ten. Poffenbarger secured it for the Terps. Looking to get some momentum. Walker's been aggressive. Poffenbarger teed that one up. McCabe looked at the rim. No angle into the post. You got post players posting up, but that entry pass is more difficult than people understand. McCabe, 3 threes.
Well, you talked about the defense, the perimeter defense to make that pass difficult, but then also that weak side helps there, so it almost makes that guard kind of, I don't want to say scared, but hesitant to throw it in, but great offense, patience, and kick out to McCabe.
Okananwa gets her own rebound down to Boyko.
Where the Terps are dangerous. Any opportunity they get, they will capitalize off of it. You have to limit that.
Well, this is a challenge for Brenda Freeze, right? She said, okay, I know I got to pack it in the post, but Iowa can knock it down from the outside, as Wright does there.
And that's the problem they saw from UCLA. And she kind of compared these teams in a way, just with that inside-out game. But you saw in UCLA all the tension on Betts. And they were just whipping the ball around, fanning it to the shooters. UCLA having one of the best three-point shooting games in that matchup. But to your point, the Terps got to get better fanning out.
Here comes Boyko, knocked away by Stuelke. She keeps it. Extra steps under the basket. 5 threes so far for the Iowa Hawkeyes. All of them coming from McCabe and then Chit Chat Wright.
I like the little, she's entering the chat, or she's entered the chat. She has indeed.
2 for 2 from the outside for Chit Chat.
It's a luxury to have a scoring point guard, one that can balance both, and I know she's challenged Chit Chat to tap more into that scoring, which is needed, and love the way she has showed up on this big stage so far.
Tipped away, but will stay with the Hawkeyes. 27-18, approaching the halfway point here in the second quarter. And you know what's interesting is Brenda Frese talked about the long West Coast trip that they had last year and how they came back against Nebraska and didn't start out the way she wanted to, and she didn't know if today would be the same. Sometimes it's hard when you have that West Coast trip and you come back home. Here's Stuelke, time winding down on the shot clock. Got it off in time, but no good on the chippy. Here's Zone pushing the pace. And a whistle on the floor. Hawkeyes continuing to extend.
We talked about their big three, how crucial they are in having to show up in this matchup. Oluchi Okananwa and Sailor Poffenbarger both have 0 points, and then Garzone has 4, but not from the typical three-point range that we're seeing. She's missed a couple there. They're forcing her to tough twos. She had that nasty fadeaway that I was raving about. That is a tough shot. So that's exactly what Iowa wants to see defensively. Yeah,
just 4 points combined from Maryland's double-digit scorers, talking about Okananwa, Poffenbarger, Garzone, and Addie Mack. Offensive foul there on Okananwa. Basketball will go back to the Hawks.
Yeah, I think the extended arm, the push-off is what I believe I saw, but we'll have another look at it here. Yeah, it's that extended arm that Chit Chat right took from Okananwa. An easy call there.
Well, now Okananwa heads to the bench. It's her second personal.
Something the Terps definitely don't want to see. I know she has 0 right now, but everything that she does, her driving to the basket, her pushing in transition, it just makes all the difference and opens things up for Maryland's offense.
Her offensive rebounding, too.
Rebounding,
there's so many ways she affects the game. In and out for Wright. Stuelke tried to haul that one down. She was last to touch it. So right here, Maryland has an opportunity, right? 9 points is obviously not an extensive deficit, but you don't want anything to get out of hand.
Absolutely, just continuing to have that patience, be aggressive on the attack downhill, want to see them draw more fouls, and of course get on the glass.
Nice cut by Poffenbarger. She fades, just off. Boyko keeps it alive, dumped down to Mir McLean.
The offensive rebounding is the neutralizer for Maryland in their offense when they have the woes. That's how you capitalize and gain second chance opportunities.
Heiden keeps it for herself. Takes it to the deck and scores.
That just looked too easy.
The evolution of her game. I mean, last year she averaged 5 points per game. This year, 16, leading Iowa in scoring.
And I think the biggest difference here is just her getting adjusted to the pace.
And let's take a look at our upcoming college basketball schedule. Always a flurry of games here on Peacock. We keep it going tonight. Ohio State, you want to talk about ranked opponents in the Big Ten. Every night you got to look out for them. Of course, Big Ten and Big East basketball here on Peacock. All right, now Stuelke taking it to the rim. And Poffenbarger sacrifices the body, takes the charge.
Yep, and that's the same call they just did on the other end against Oluchi Okananwa, so I love the balance. It's a great call there, push off. And as you said, Sailor Poffenbarger, that's how you step in, sacrifice that body.
Well, it's also the recognition. You mentioned they called it on the other end. Poffenbarger is an elite competitor, smart player, senior with a lot of experience. She realized that, took the charge, and gave her Terps an extra possession. Garzone on the curl, not open. Mack, the freshman, takes it herself. It'll stay here. 12 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time for the Terps to try and make something happen. Less than 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
And I want the viewers just to key in on Garzone and see how she's being guarded. Just Addie Deal on her right now, who has just done an exceptional job. Watch the way they're fighting over ball screens, off ball screens constantly. I mean, it's a lot of work. You see Feuerbach on her now.
Garzone in the post, uses her body. That goes the other way. This is the third one of those calls, so this is the way that it's being called tight.
Kylie Fierbach, we talked about her. She's the defensive stopper, clearly undersized, but that doesn't matter. She stands up, stands her ground, takes the wall, and generates the offensive foul.
Right, off the curl. Poffenbarger looked like she was going to attack. All right, same action here. Gearzone, different result, gets the hometown roll.
But I love they're keeping her guessing. You're seeing so many different looks, different sizes matching up on Gearzone with the way the defense plays out. But again, that fadeaway jumper right there in the paint is unstoppable.
Well, Jordan Gearzone is 6'3". You talk about the matchups.
And she's shooting over anybody.
Hey, inside out, count it.
All it takes is one. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say it right now. All it takes is one, and Gearzone can get hot, and I know that's the look that the Terps want to see.
That was the first 3 of the evening for the Terps on a 5-0 run. Okay, a 9-point deficit down to 4.
And that's been the huge difference. Maryland 1 for 8 from 3. Iowa right at 50%. They're 5 of 10.
The post-to-post pass. Gotta love that. All right, Gearzone skip pass intercepted by Stuelke. Bumped on the breakaway. Yarden Gearzone after the drought. 0 for 7 from 3.
Yeah, Gearzone said, I'm tired being here in the paint. She wanted to get, but hey, she said, I'm going to get one last one. Bouncing off the rim, but you got to love to see it. But she said, hey, it's time for me to step out, make my money from where I love it best, and that's outside.
Gearzone leading the charge so far offensively for the Terps with 9 points. And you notice consistently, Maryland is leaving the bigs open. They're on the wing. Stuelke. The entry passes continue. That takes skill.
Yeah, and Ozzy Mamadou there, she cannot get caught behind. That's just too easy of a look.
Gearzone asking for it. Directing traffic here. Has Fierbach on an island. And right. Picked it off. She's surveying. Down to Stuelke. Gearzone got a piece of that.
And I like that. That's how you get back. You have the turnover, but you get back and get the block there. But you credit Iowa's defense here. Just the anticipation. First of all, Chit Chat right, 5'4", right? She snatched that thing like she was my height, like she was 6'2". I see you, girl.
Height doesn't match your heart, you know?
Oh, it doesn't.
Another offensive foul call. This will be a turnover for the Hawks. They're 5th. 4-second difference, game clock, shot clock, so Maryland cognizant of that. 8-point game. Want to set yourself up both ways for positive momentum going into halftime.
Definitely don't want to turn over. I want to see Gearzone be more aggressive. She didn't need to throw that turnover pass. She could have elevated and scored.
Here's Walker trying to create some space. Ozzy Mamadou gives her team a second chance and does. All right, who do they go to? Right, hit a half-court shot a game ago, tries again. Yeah, I mean, 2 games in a row, half-court shot.
Well, it was Hannah Stuelke that made it in the pregame. But you credit
things to think about. Maryland is 15-1 when it wins the boards, but Iowa undefeated when they're leading at halftime. So just like I started the broadcast, what gives? Well, we'll find out here in the second half. Third quarter officially underway. Hawkeyes get the first possession here. Heiden was posting up down low, entry pass not successful, still plenty of time on the shot clock for the Hawks.
And you look there, I mean, when Heiden's on the block, Hannah Stuelke's kind of edging her way up, and I'll tell you what, Sailor Poffenbarger's not leaving the paint. She's going to give that little sting, that little help, and just seeing those bodies there around Heiden, it makes the guard hesitant to throw it in.
The tip there by Okananwa, getting after it defensively.
The best high-low look for Iowa will have to come from the top of the key.
Fierbach refuses the screen. In attack mode, right, fades away, tough make.
Well, hello, Chit Chat.
Hey, the chat's still going.
The chat is going.
The girlies are talking.
The girlies are talking. The chat just got crazy.
Lead extended for the Hawkeyes. And for Maryland, you want to look to see Oluchi Okananwa, number 7, doesn't have the basketball right now, but get involved. She's this team's leading scorer.
Oluchi, even Sailor, Poffenbarger. See those two get points up on the board.
Stuelke kicks it out. Re-entry pass. That's high-level stuff.
Again, that's, those slots, the top of the key, that's the best entry into the post. And you credit Hannah Stuelke. She was in there working.
Foul call off the ball. Iowa has its largest lead of the evening at 11. They came out hungry here in the third so far.
Hungry indeed, and we talked about at the start of the game, the two-headed monster. Before we get into Hannah Stuelke's bucket, chit-chat right, a luxury of just having a point guard that can do both, score when needed, pass and be a playmaker.
Okananwa was looking for some help. Ozzy Mamadou up against Heiden all the way across the lane.
It's a great isolation look. Mamadou, she can work out in the post.
Going back to Chit Chat Right, she's got 3 threes. I mean, she's one of the best three-point shooters percentage-wise in the Big Ten. About 46% from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, she's efficient. She's got high IQ. She makes great decisions. Again, it's just a matter of being more aggressive. Oh, hey, Heiden. Speaking of being aggressive.
Nice deflection there. Maryland trying to shift the momentum here. Poffenbarger shuffle pass. Okananwa tried to pitch it down. Intercepted by McKay. Possession arrow will stay with Maryland.
You notice on these possessions, watch Iowa. They're going to play to tendency, so obviously when you have Garazone, not too much help off of her, but everybody else, Iowa's defender, they got 2 feet in the paint. They are clogging it up. I know Aaliyah Boston had mentioned that in studio about the way Iowa's going to clog up the paint.
Ozzy Mamadou took it across the lane, that time a hook shot. Okananwa relentless on the boards. Her 6th rebound. Brenda Freeze wants to make sure that Okananwa will have a trip to the free throw line. Let's take another look.
I mean, this is the best aspects of Oluchi's game. The things you can't teach, the effort plays there. Foul, she gets hit there. I'm trying to see maybe if they're getting it on the shot.
2 free throws coming her way.
It was one of those where you kind of throw it up so you're making sure you draw that contact and get to the free throw line. And for Oluchi, who's lagged so far offensively, she's had to sit a lot of the first half with foul trouble. This is where she can get things going. Free throw line, getting on the glass. That's how you maximize your opportunity.
Oluchi Okananwa officially on the board, her first point of the evening. Goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Gets her own rebound. Top 10 in the conference when it comes to offensive rebounding. Sets up Walker. Talk about momentum and energy.
It's that simple. Not much of a science to it. You hustle, you get on the glass, and great things happen.
Back to a 6-point game. And how do you respond if you're the Hawks on the road? Energy mounting for the Terps. Heiden, she's knocked it down there. Not that time.
Maryland's doing a great job taking away Heiden's easy looks outside and baiting that shot.
Okananwa in the open court. Ozzy Mamadou, second chance opportunities. And just like that, Jan Jensen recognizes the energy shifting.
And again, just seeing those big 3 really collect on the baskets will be huge as well.
Maryland has 11 second chance points. That's compared to Iowa's 4. Heiden battling down low, couldn't get it to her. Nice denial there and fronting by Ozzy Mamadou.
Ozzy Mamadou fronting and Sailor Poffenbarger there for the help.
Heiden goes to the deck hard. Big rebound there. They're going to say that is a foul on Ozzy Mamadou.
And Brenda Freeze very perplexed at the call. That's what we're going to see. It's a physical game. Both teams very physical. Have another look at it there as they're battling now. I guess they're just going to get it for the push-off.
Feuerbach was fouled. She worked through traffic there. 6:24 to go here in the third. 4-point basketball game. A couple chances here for the Hawks. Heiden leading Iowa right now in scoring, gets it to 12 points.
And that's great patience. Love that she turned over that shoulder and didn't turn to the middle to the help.
Well, Heiden and her efficiency down low, 62% from the field. 6 for 10 this evening.
And that's why, I mean, you saw Ozzy Mamadou fronting her. It's just one of those situations where once you see all the numbers and you see that Iowa and you get the ball in there, not really much you can do, but look at her serving, the patience there. Going over that left shoulder, not middle where you're going into the help.
Garzone cashes in. Nice to see it go through.
I'll tell you one thing. Garzone is always at the right time.
Right back at you, Hannah Stuelke. Iowa wasting no time and one opportunity for the senior. It's 1,400 career points for Hannah Stuelke.
This is how you respond to a three-point basket, and Maryland was still getting back in transition. Hannah Stuelke gets down there and seals. Just an easy look in and great finish.
Hannah Stuelke, a senior out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. She always wanted to be a Hawk. She said, I grew up going to the games, cheering for the Hawks, and now everybody in the stands is cheering for me.
There's nothing like that thing. Watching it in high school and then coming and getting to be a part of it. She was a part of such great Iowa programs, as we all know. And
she helped fuel them, too. I mean, Hannah Stuelke has had a 47, excuse me, against Penn State a couple of years ago. That's Walker off the mark. Heiden just battling. Jump ball.
But that hustle and tenacity is exactly what we need to say. That's what it's going to come down to in this close game, is the grit. That's what the Big Ten is known for. Who's going to fight to the finish? And this is what we're seeing on both sides.
Any matchup you have in the Big Ten, we go to shoot-arounds and we talk to coaches. And we're like, oh, it's going to be physical tonight. Next night, different matchup. Oh, it's going to be physical. That's just Big Ten basketball.
Sure is.
Stuelke. Knocked away by Garzone. Here come the Terps.
This is the Terps' danger zone.
Okananwa gets into the teeth of the defense, has to kick it out. Walker's been efficient. Still waiting on Poffenbarger. Put her stamp. Extra steps there by Poffenbarger.
Credit the transition.
Tracking. 5 minutes to go here in the third. The Hawks have maintained the lead for a couple quarters now. We'll go back to Maryland. This is an opportunity, right? We talked about those hustle plays, staying in the basketball game, a 5-point game. You had shifted the momentum here a little bit in the third. You want to get it back. Garzone off the screen, doesn't need a lot of space. Takes it to the floor. We've seen her hit that fadeaway. Not that time.
But I'm not mad at the look. I love seeing Garzone more aggressive. She has the size mismatch. And anytime she goes up, if it doesn't go in, you can always almost count on Maryland to get on the offensive glass. And defensively, where I've been more impressed with Maryland, they have done such a great job helping, but also fanning and spacing the shooters. So you're not seeing as many easy open three-point looks from Iowa in this half.
Iowa continues to shoot over 50% from the three-point line. Stuelke kicks it out to Feuerbach. Uses the pivot foot, hard angle. And a bump down low.
Yeah, that's an easy call there. Great box out from Hannah Stuelke. She beat Garzone to the punch and got the over the back call here. But again, credit Maryland's defense, running them off three-point line, forcing contested twos, but again, you gotta finish with the block out. That's how you close out a good defensive possession.
That'll be 3 personal fouls for Yarden Garzone. The NBA is on NBC and Peacock. Monday nights, it's Peacock NBA Monday. And Tuesdays in prime time, it's Coast to Coast Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
Get to see a lot more of the Zora Stevenson. Doing a great job on the NBA coverage, along with the entire NBC team. It's been exciting to watch.
Thank you. The return of the NBA to NBC has been fun. Still a close one here in College Park, Maryland. 15th ranked Terps, 10th ranked Hawkeyes. Okananwa, they've been calling that all night. Third personal for Oluchi Okananwa. You see her reaction right there.
Yeah, that's so tough. And you have to be able to have that adjustment and see that with the way that it's being called, because Oluchi, when she gets her head down going, she's going, and that's the scouting report there. And you credit Feuerbach just knowing that, having that IQ.
Well, and it's a hard situation if you're Okananwa, right? Because you average 17 points per game, 21 points per game in Big Ten play so far this evening. 0 for 6 from the field, 1 point. You're trying to be aggressive, trying to get things going. And Feuerbach set it up for the charge. Wright was open down low. Heiden looking for something. Here comes Feuerbach. Okananwa putting on the Jets. 2-on-2. Matt bobbles it. Ozzy Mamadou clearly in discomfort. Something.
And this is a knee that she suffered injury from earlier.
You just hope Izzy Menme Ozzy Mamadou is okay. She had a red shirt last year. It's been so impactful.
It definitely looks like she had a misstep. Just kind of stepped the wrong way. It happens. I mean, I've dealt with knee injuries before, and it's one of those things where you step the wrong way, you come down wrong, things can get aggravated. So we're hoping that she can get a look at it from her training staff and everything be okay, because she has been a phenomenal asset for the Terps. Someone that they're going to need in this game.
It's the team's leading rebounder so far this evening. 12 points, 8 rebounds for Ozzy Mamadou.
Even just the way she's anchored the defense, she's done a great job on Heiden. Stuelke just kind of making those looks more difficult inside.
When you just think of all the injuries that the Terps have had to deal with, Kayleen Schmeichel, one of their best scorers, out for the season. Bree McDaniel, an ACL tear last season, so she hasn't played so far. Leah Bartelma, a big freshman, Rainey Wilson is out tonight with a concussion. I mean, it mounts for the Terps, and Brenda Fries has just talked about facing adversity and next player up, and that's what they have done so far this season.
And she does such a great job just instilling that mentality, that next player up mentality, as well as just that balance of rest and recovery for the players that she has available.
Another offensive foul call. So it'll go back to Maryland. And these are some of the numbers of the people we were just talking about. I talked about Schmeichel and what she's been able to do. Bree McDaniel was such a force, especially off the bench. She was averaging double digits off the bench.
She was that energizer bunny that just really changed the momentum of the game. She played at the point position. She was an efficient scorer. It's a lot of production missing.
Boyko just dragged that pivot foot. 13th turnover for the Terps. And just as you start to creep, it's plays like that as you're trying to stay close here in this basketball game. 7 points is the difference. Remember, at halftime it was 6.
Almost, both teams in the bonus right now, so we see how tight it's getting called late in this game. Free throws are where it matters, something that Maryland wants to capitalize off of, so that'll be huge as well moving forward.
Great point. Only taken 2 free throws in this quarter so far, the Terps. Approaching 2 minutes to go here in the third. Remember, Maryland 12-1 in this building. Usually successful in XFINITY Center. Okananwa, that's what she does. Back down to Boyko. Boyko's bumped. 2 free throws ahead.
Yeah, it's to the point where when Maryland gets stagnant offensively, you saw that she was left open on the ball screen. It really is almost what you want to do is just put a shot up, because this is a Maryland team that is going to attack and get the rebound. We see that here, and guess what? Here we are at the free throw line.
Well, and Ava Heiden has to head to the bench with 4 fouls as this third quarter continues. That is significant. Sunday on Peacock, it's a heavyweight Premier League collision as Arsenal continues their title charge in a showdown with Manchester United, streaming live Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Peacock. All right, Boyko help closing the gap here. You see the Terps up the ante. Just a little more pressure in the backcourt.
With Heiden on the bench, just makes this Iowa team just a little bit smaller. So the Terps can utilize that to their advantage on both ends of the floor. Brings up the paint a bit.
Journey Houston is who came in, a freshman, came in for Heiden. Stremlow asking for the screen. Shot clock winding down, has to create. McCabe has been hot. Great board by Stuelke. Takes time off the clock, gets the team another opportunity. Posting down low, Boyko. Anticipation might have stepped out of bounds.
Love the hustle and effort. I mean, they read that pass entering in. Steps ahead.
You know what I just saw there in that huddle? Sailor Poffenbarger, the veteran. He's the big leader for this team, pumping her teammates up, and it's great to see Ozzy Mamadou return in this basketball game. Stremlow gets it to Wright. Wright surveys. Little hesitation. Oh, the dish down low to Houston. That's tough.
Yeah, tough finish as well because Ozzy Mamadou came over right on time for the help side. So great defense, but a better offense from Houston.
I mean, the thread of the needle there and for Houston to finish it off. You know, coaches have good clips and teach clips at the end of a game. That'll be a good clip.
Yeah, that's textbook drop pass there.
Skip pass. Walker kept it alive. Poffenbarger recognizing the shot clock. Taking it to Houston, fades. And there was a bump before the rebound. Referee saying that one of the Hawks got hit in the head. That's on Ozzy Mamadou. Hannah Stuelke stepping up to the charity stripe. 2 for 3 from the free throw line so far this evening. Let's see the contact between Ozzy Mamadou and Stuelke. Referee said it was on the head.
And this game is just absolutely physical. I guess they're just calling it because she was over her back and the arm reached across her head.
And the hustle play by Houston. The basketball fell into her hands. That's the momentum you want going into the fourth. Big opportunity here for the Terps. Walker in her bag, off balance. Ozzy Mamadou has been relentless. No go on the second chance. 9-point basketball game as we get the fourth quarter started here. The Terps trying to close in on the deficit. Of course, the Hawks trying to hold on and extend it. Garzone in and out. Ozzy Mamadou has been relentless on the boards. Double-digit rebounds for Ozzy Mamadou. Walker gets it going to the cup. Kendall Walker got the challenge from her head coach to be more aggressive, understood the assignment.
And this is exactly what the Terps want to continue to do, is be aggressive and attack downhill. The game's being called tight. The free throws matters, or we talked about in the game against USC, they had 20 points from the free throw line. That's how they won that game.
11 points for Kendall Walker, the redshirt freshman from the DMV area, hometown kid. And right now, Iowa's leading scorer, Iowa Heiden, on the bench in foul trouble. Miscommunication there, back to the Terps.
You just see how essential Heiden is to the offense, how much she opens up the floor and makes it so much easier for other players around her. Just from how much she's a presence inside, it has made a difference.
6-point basketball game. Poffenbarger still looking for her first bucket and points of the evening. Usually averages in double figures. Right to McCabe. Houston, timely. Journey Houston has had some big ends. She's inserted into the game after Ava Heiden has to go to the bench. You want to talk about impact?
Yeah, this is how you step up when your number's called. Houston has been huge. Just in her hustle, her tenacity on the glass.
And those extra efforts now send Heiden to the bench. She's got 4 fouls. Stuelke, another possession for the Hawkeyes. In no rush. Hannah Stuelke, 5th double-double of the season after that board. And the passing from the post has been elite. Houston, her time is now.
Tell you what, when the focus is on other players such as Stuelke, McCabe from outside, we saw Chit-Chat Wright hit a few. They're going to leave someone open. It has been Houston, and she has stepped up and answered.
8 points, 4 for 6 from the field for the freshman Journey Houston. Walker, little fake, jump stop, spin.
She didn't need the spin on that one. She could have gone up the first time.
Buckets are hard to come by for the Terps. Shooting under 32%. Meantime, Houston tries to keep it going in double figures.
UCLA, where she only had 2 and 2, so this is how you come back and you respond, because yes, she had to go up against Lauren Betts, Sienna Betts, but this is an Iowa team we talked about, Hannah Stuelke, Ava Heiden, great bigs, and this is just how you answer back, come in and dominate.
Well, and just for some context, this is really her first year in Division I basketball. Redshirted last year, and before that, she was a JUCO player. She's getting acclimated to the pace and the physicality of this level, just like other freshmen. They go back to her. Why not? Across the lane again.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. She does look like she's nursing the knee a little bit, but gonna play through it.
It's gotta be go time if you're Maryland. 10-point game. The Hawks have answered the call every single time. Fierbach back down to Stuelke. Hannah Stuelke has had a few trips to the free throw line already.
I think now, is that 4 on Ozzy Mamadou?
Yes, you've got 2 Terps, 2 important Terps that now have 4 personals. Heiden is about to re-enter the game, it looks like. She's got 4, and it'll just replace Ozzy Mamadou, who has 4.
Yeah, also not to mention Oluchi Okananwa is at 3 as well.
And the Terps have maintained their lead as Ava Heiden, who's led them in scoring so far this evening, remains on the bench with 4.
Well, yeah, we talked about Houston, the way she's stepped up and has really taken advantage of her minutes. Hit some shots, battling on the glass, stepping up when her number's called. So really, no drop-off with Heiden on the bench.
Lead back to 12 after those 2 free throws for Hannah Stuelke. Walker getting a lot of opportunities this evening. Garzone asking for it. Tees it up instead. Tipped. Back to Okananwa. And she's been 11 rebounds for Oluchi Okananwa, despite what her field goal percentage is right now, 0 for 6.
And this is exactly what Maryland has to keep doing, the chip in at the game. Battle on the glass and get right there to the charity stripe. Try to inch their way little by little, and of course on the defensive end, they're gonna have to get stops. There's not really much room for error as the clock starts to wind down.
In and out on the first. 6:50 to go. Where do you start to chip away?
And for Maryland, it starts on the defensive end. The defense is what fuels their offense. They haven't gotten a lot of clean, fast break looks. So if they can continue that, just have that momentum swing.
And that's one of those plays that you got to think about, because that foul is 4 on Oluchi Okananwa. 3 Terp starters with 4 fouls.
Yeah, to your point, you have to be smarter there. You could still play aggressive, but be smart. You see how tight it's being called.
Deal left alone through traffic. Stuelke battling. Walker tries to pick it up. Houston diving. Bodies everywhere. And those are the hustle plays that really make an impact in a game. Fierbach down to Stuelke. Maryland basketball. They want to push. Iowa has gotten back. Foul on the floor. We talked to Jen Jensen at shoot-around today, and she said, hey, we're going to have more people than usual getting back, and Maryland really hasn't had the opportunity to have numbers in transition like they normally do.
Yeah, and you credit even the times they have gotten back in transition. To your point, the 3 that they send back have been doing an excellent job at that, but you take away pieces of Maryland's identity. That's why they've struggled offensively.
Some more contact. Call will be on Stuelke. Just her second. And if you're Maryland, these are opportunities, right? At the free throw line. The clock is stopped. Chance for 2.
Got to connect on them. But this is the recipe for success for Maryland getting back into the games from the free throw line when they're in the bonus, is continuing to be aggressive on the attack.
McLean gets 1 for 2. Maryland has just continued to claw its way back this entire second half. Iowa has maintained the lead. They're up by 6.5. Continue to extend it. Another foul call.
On Garzone.
Her 5th personal. Garzone is done for the evening. She finishes with 12 points and 2 threes. Another look at it.
Yeah, arms got tangled up. I mean, I think the one thing that I really challenge Garzone with is just doing her work early on the box out. Focus on getting the body contact, and you won't get the foul.
Nice scoop shot there by Stremlo.
Right off the bench.
Confidence is contagious.
I mean, what a luxury for coach to have that depth. That's the key in, going deep into tournament, is having that depth, that experience.
First field goal for Oluchi Okananwa. Coming off a game at UCLA, she had 25 points so far this evening, just 3. Stuelke, left all alone, has to think about her decision. Right. Setting up Stremlo. 2 big buckets by Taylor.
Inside out. That's what Iowa's had this entire game. They've just flowed offensively.
Taylor, Stremlo, and her impact off the bench. Scoop shot, 3, charge.
Have another look at the 3. I mean, this is what you want to see. Stremlo just off the bench, catching heat early, no time to waste. And then drawing the charge on the other end. I mean, I'll tell you what, this Iowa team and their IQ defensively to see how the way the game's being called, no tendencies on who's attacking with full force. It's incredible.
Remember, Houston came off the bench. She's in double figures. It's like when Oprah hands out things for Christmas.
Listen,
you get a charge, you get a charge.
I'll tell you what, Zora, if you're attacking downhill with that shoulder down, a charge is going to be called. So if I'm the offensive player, having more body control, maybe coming to a jump stop.
61-47.
And if I'm the defender on the other end, I'm just going to step in and lay right on that.
So Journey Houston will head to the bench. Ava Heiden back in the basketball game. Remember, she's got 4 fouls. Walker, stop and pop. Poffenbarger. Reset opportunity, just the miscue. Kind of an indication of how the offense has gone for Maryland so far this evening.
And also, it's just knowing time and situation. If I'm Maryland and Heiden's coming back into the game, knowing that she has 4, seeing the way that the game's called, she is the first person I'm looking to attack on offense.
We mentioned the 3 really prominent players for Maryland in foul trouble. Garzone is out. Okananwa, the team's leading scorer, has 4. And then Ozzy Mamadou, big impact, a double-double this evening. She has 4 as well. Meantime, Stremlo has been one of many bright spots for Iowa. She'll kick it to right. That's McCabe. The Hawks keep it coming. 4 threes for Taylor McCabe. The Hawks are shooting 47% from the 3-point line. Ozzy Mamadou picks up where she left off. Right, splits the defense. Stremlow had time. Right, down to Heiden. Top of the conference in field goal percentage.
Now seeing what Coach Jensen wanted to see from her Iowa Hawkeye offense, that balance of inside-out scoring.
Poffenbarger has time. And Addie Mack, second chance opportunity.
Yeah, it's really been one of those nights, poor shooting for Maryland. But again, it's that play you saw there with Addie Mack, just getting as many second chance opportunities as possible. And you got to connect on the free throw line as well. And just look at this hustle, left all alone, and a great finish there as well.
Addie Mack, one of many freshmen that's had to step up. Okananwa gets the steal. Some life here from the Terps.
One other thing, when the Terps get to the free throw line, 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you they're going to try to set up in the press, which they've been able to do these last few possessions. They're in the bonus. We'll see a lot more of that. They're going to have to really turn things up to try to chip back in and get this win.
You know something about that, huh?
I know a little something about that.
The drills that shoot around today, she said, oh, all right.
One thing we do,
don't fix it.
Yeah,
keep it consistent.
We will switch things up defensively. You will always be on your toes when you're going up against the Terps.
It's like one of Coach Freeze's signatures, right, in terms of multiple defenses. Just like you talked about, Asia, they're ready to go. Full court press. They get it into Stuelke, and Wright has just really been able to break the press on her own. You know, what I noticed too is the poise by the Hawkeyes. When these two teams met last year, 21 turnovers forced by the Terps. Iowa was ready for the pressure this time around. Poffenbarger just trying to get one, and does. Her first bucket of the evening. Hey, you want to be conscious if you're Iowa. This is a Maryland team that went to double overtime against Minnesota, down low to Heiden, and scores. They were down by 9 points with 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Maryland team that is resilient in all ways. They have faced so much adversity, but in game facing adversity, they will always look to make a comeback.
Single-digit game. Up in the ante here in College Park. See Jan Jensen signaling, getting your offense. No rush, Addie Mack. Possession will stay with Iowa.
And I want to credit Oluchi Okananwa on the back end of that press. She did such a great job quarterbacking, talking through.
Happy's Place tomorrow on NBC and Peacock. 9-point lead for the Hawkeyes. They've been up this entire second half, but we've seen a late surge by the Terps. See what happens in this last 90 seconds of regulation. Right, met by Ozzy Mamadou. Bach. Time was winding down. Stuelke gets it off, but it does not touch the rim. Shot clock violation.
Excellent defensive possession there from the Terps. Really the way they've been able to sting, help in the paint, but fan out the shooters has been a big difference.
Big possession, big opportunity, which is the words you used at the top of the broadcast, Asia. Poffenbarger saw one go through. Ooh, now two! All right, here we go.
I'm very overstimulated right now. This game is getting crazy.
And just like that, what was 45 seconds to go, Maryland comes back and wins it. A similar situation right now, down by 6 in the middle of a 15-4 run with a minute to go.
Terps have got to execute defensively. They have got to get on the glass on this defensive side and then continue to hit shots on the offensive end. Get to the free throw line.
Little shoving there.
Remember Oluchi Okananwa, Mamadou playing with 4 fouls.
Great point, great point. Yarding zone, already out of this game, and Iowa Heiden has 4 too. Stuelke has to get it in. Feuerbach was fouled. From Addie Mack's face, it does not look like that was on purpose. Both teams are in the bonus for this last 57-ish seconds.
And the free throws matter again. This is an Iowa team as efficiently as they shoot from the floor, not so much from the free throw line, but you got to make it count in ours.
Big time make. Talked about Iowa's largest lead was 17. The closest that Maryland has gotten in the second half is 3. 2 crucial free throws for Feuerbach, the veteran. Walker. Nothing there, needs help. A lot of time in the paint too. Okananwa creates some contact.
Exactly what Maryland wants to continue to do. Get their head down and attack. You either get the bucket or you get to the free throw line, but either way, a chance to put some points on the board will happen.
Oluchi Okananwa, 79% free throw shooter. Gets the first. Hasn't had much luck from the field. This will be her 8th free throw of the evening. Gets them both, big ones.
And I like the timeout from Jen Jensen. She knows the press is going to get set up after that free throw, so she wants to get her team in and regroup and make sure that they get. You don't want to let too much time off the clock, so you always want to start with the steal. But if they're getting into the flow of the offense, then you got to get in there and foul. It looks like the Terps are trying to generate a turnover, get a trap going. But eventually they're going to have to, there we go.
That's what they did. Just Poffenbarger's third. .36 to go at this current state, 2-possession game. Chit Chat Wright, one of the best free throw shooters, not just in the conference, but in the country. 11th nationally at 91%. I had to give context. Sorry, Hawk fans.
Knew it was coming.
One for 2. And Mamadou still uncomfortable. Remember, she exited the game. Addie Mack all the way to the cup. No one touched her.
Great take by Addie Mack. Mamadou is limping over to the bench. I mean, no one's guarding you. I mean, ain't no secret. Just take it to the rack.
So you play the foul game. It was a 6-point game. Now it's a 5-point game. 30 points to the court. And the Hawkeyes try to protect this conference record that they have. Undefeated in conference play. I mean, they sit at the top of the Big Ten standings right now, right there with UCLA. Those are the only 2 teams in the Big Ten that are undefeated in conference play. The Hawkeyes back in the top 10 in the AP rankings this week as well. They've got the Big Ten Player of the Week in Hannah Stuelke, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week in Addie Deal.
What I also like, you look at Iowa's schedule and anyone can easily say that they probably had an easier first, few games in conference play. But now they're going in this stretch, and this is where you prove, no, we belong here at the top.
Oh, Wright loses it right into the hands of Walker. Kendall Walker on the drive. 3-point game, 1-possession game, 25 seconds to go. Maryland right back into the press. Poffenbarger steals it.
Is the foul? Where's the foul? Because that person's going to the free throw line. This is huge if it goes in favor of Maryland.
We'll wait to get confirmation. They're signaling Poffenbarger will have 2 shots. The foul. All right, let's get everything coordinated. Oluchi Okananwa at the free throw line after the foul on Hannah Stuelke. 2 shots here. basketball game. And you talk about impacting the game in different ways. Okananwa, only one field goal, but she's had 7 big free throws.
Like, Zora, don't do it.
22.6 on the clock. The Hawks inbound to Feuerbach, immediate foul.
Coach Freeze was looking for a 5-second count there.
1 point game as Kylie Feuerbach walks to the free throw line. A grad student, 5th season at Iowa. Jan Jensen calls her the calm. 2 point game. Perfect from the free throw line, Feuerbach. 3 point game. How do you attack it? Who do you go to?
Looks like they might go to Sailor if I'm not mistaken.
Walker to Mack. That's a freshman, remember? Okananwa, big shot! Tie game! All right, time winding down. Here's Wright. Has Okananwa on her. No timeouts left. And the deflection by Poffenbarger stays with the Hawks. 2 seconds to go. Let's relive that. Okananwa struggled all evening. Doesn't matter.
This is a player who struggled. 1 field goal, playing with foul trouble, and coming and stepping up when the moment's right.
Game on the line here. Hawks have a chance to take it. Feuerbach on the inbound. To Wright. Puts it up. Blocked by Walker. To overtime we go. Does it get better? Does it get better? All knotted at 73. It's the first overtime game of the season for Iowa. Maryland has had one other overtime game, which I've referenced, against Minnesota. That went to double OT on the road. They did win that game. And we had 5 minutes on the clock. Ava Heiden has 4 fouls. Okananwa's got 4. Ozzy Mamadou, who's been in discomfort all evening long, has 4 back in the game. What happens next? Who's got more to give? First possession to the Terps. Okananwa hit that big shot. She's feeling it.
The way she's just sliced through that defense, through the trees with Heiden and Stuelke.
If you're the Hawks, you wanna get back to that poise that got you that 17-point lead. You've shown you can do it. Especially on the road, the crowd's into it. How do you respond? Deal. She's left open. Didn't even look at the rim. Right, shot clock winding down. The time, it's always right.
Always got to step up different players on the score. I think for Heiden too, she can get a dribble and try to back down. All you got to do is get the defense to bite and move and open up your players.
Big bump by Poffenbarger. Oh.
And every time you see a Terp go down, any player, but when you see a Terp go down, it's just so tough because it's just the injury bug that has plagued Brenda Freeze and her squad this season. You don't want to see anyone else go down.
The silence that fell for the human, for the team. She gets up. Brenda Freeze signaling to shoot the free throws. Poffenbarger clearly in pain. Walks to the free throw line. Her first free throws of the evening. Tie game in overtime. Guts. 1 for 2. On the ground, another possession from Maryland. 1 point game. Poffenbarger stays with it. Look at the size difference here with Wright on her. Okananwa has been in attack mode and just in and out. Bodies just everywhere. Now Wright tweaks something.
And it really comes down to hustle and grit, and you see it here, just bodies flying. Chit-chat, 2 Terps. You see Hannah Stuelke getting in there. And that's what's going to come down to when it comes to winning games. We'll have a look at the foul here, a bump between, a collision between Oluchi Okananwa and Chit-chat Wright. That's 5 for Oluchi.
So Okananwa is finished. Remember, Garzone fouled out in regulation.
You can see the emotion on her face. Like, I just know that she wants this. Just had an outstanding game. So tough.
One-point advantage. Back to the Hawks.
But now what do you do for the Terps? You keep being aggressive on the attack downhill. They aim to get to the free throw line every single time.
And who are you going to go to offensively? 2 of your top scorers are out of this game. McLean saves it, but to the opposing team. Iowa on top by 1. Clock management, being smart. Dump down to Heiden, no go.
Mamadou still limping, but looking to push in this last stretch.
Poffenbarger, remember, took the big hit. Mack!
I want to see Poffenbarger more aggressive on her attacks and really look to score. She's the veteran leader out here on the floor right now.
Stuelke working down low. Bodies continue to be on the floor. All right, Wright will have to get it back. We're under 10 seconds with this shot clock. Wright trying to create space. Oh, the dish down to Heiden. And the finish.
Great read by Chit-chat Wright. She was going middle. She saw Mamadou was coming over to help. Waited just a second and got Heiden the right time on the slip.
3-point game, Walker. No good. Big possession here for both teams. If you're Iowa, you can continue to extend. If you're Maryland, you desperately need a stop. Wright has been so on time. McCabe gets it back. Trying to manage the clock. Shot clock winding down. Do they recognize? Wright does. Another board by Ozzy Mamadou. And Brenda Freeze will take a pause.
First look, I definitely am looking at Saylor. She's the veteran. She's the leader of this squad. And then we talked about Mack. She's a player that has emerged and stepped up in big moments.
Yeah, you want to talk about Addie Mack. You go back to the Terps game against Georgetown. They were down. Addie Mack led them back. All right, Walker has been phenomenal as well. They go to Poffenbarger. Drive and kick. Saves the possession. She's stuck. A reset for the Terps. Looking to enter it. Ozzy Mamadou. Just off the mark. Approaching a minute left here in this overtime. The Hawks up by 3. Heiden with the handoff to Wright. And contact. Another trip to the free throw line for Chit-chat Wright. The foul was on Kendall Walker.
Let's have another look at it here. Yeah, Kendall Walker just trying to get over the screen and lots of contact there. But I mean, that's the name of the game, Zora. It is physical. Big Ten in general is just a physical conference, but you know, you get into this matchup down to the wire, you're giving it all, and you're gonna be physical out there.
will get one more. A chance to push this lead to 5. 6 20-point games this season for Ava Heiden.
And just to be aware, I mean, she's played the whole fourth quarter pretty much in this overtime with 4 fouls. So just that awareness.
And the comeback attempt.
They're gonna have to get a foul soon.
Starting to fade for the Terps. Under 30 to go. They haven't fouled. Stuelke. Back out to right. Playing the clock. 10th ranked team in the country. Perfect in Big Ten play so far. And at the beginning of the game, I talked about all the way in the first quarter, we talked about weathering the punches. Well, the punches have come in the first, second, third, fourth, and now overtime. And if you're Iowa, you've got to be very pleased with where you 13 seconds to go. You're on the road. Big comeback by the Terps. And you continue to extend the lead here.
And it's that part, you know, not all around a perfect game for Iowa, but I think the biggest takeaway here that I know Jan Jensen can be proud of is just the way her team has answered and responded to the times that Maryland has punched.
Chit chat right, timely in every way. Free throw line, dimes, scoring. Iowa is in the middle of an 8-0 run. 83-76. Ava Heiden leading all scorers with 20 points. Ozzy Mamadou is leading the Terps with 16. But different players have stepped up at different times. Of course, the highlight has to be Okananwa's big 3 to send it into overtime, but then even go back on the Hawk side and Journey Houston coming off the bench and getting double figures when Heiden had to sit because of foul trouble. I mean, that's what you think about. Ozzy Mamadou back to the basket up against Stuelke. Puts it in. That was a quick 2. Jan Jensen signaling for a timeout. 9.2 is on the clock.
It's a
5-point game. It ain't over until it's over. 9.2 to go, you'd have to imagine. Maryland would foul right away.
The refs having to come in and intervene. Already physical, ball's even gotten in yet.
Been that way all evening. Into right. That's who you want. Chit chat right. The transfer from Georgia Tech. This is her first season here at Iowa. And really her first opportunity to have a green light of sorts. And you've talked about it, Asia. Jan Jensen encouraging her to shoot more. She creates really well. 5 assists so far this evening.
Absolutely, and when she's doing that, creating her own shots for herself, not just her teammates, it just makes Iowa's offense more dynamic, more hard to guard.
Lead now at 7. Walker will get one last shot up. And Iowa holds on the road, withstands a valiant effort by the Terps.